Hey everybody, so today is day number 4, and the fourth lesson, which is something that I talked to my therapist about last week or the week before. We talking about perfectionism. Yay! And it's really interesting because I never thought I was a perfectionist, and then I talked to a friend of mine, and he was like, "You are," and then my therapist was like, "Yeah, you are." My sister's like, "Not, yeah, sometimes, but not all the time." And what I want to say is, especially when it comes to business, and I get frustrated when I see other people do this. It's like you hung up on this one thing, like the website has to be perfect or the name has to be perfect. I'm going through this right now with the class that I'm taking. Like, I'm going through two different names. Like, oh my gosh, it should be this name because this name, I have an emotional attachment to this name and it should be this, it should be that. I could have just picked a name and it meant nothing and I could have just went with it. I have a name. I could get an LLC. I can. It's not registered under anyone else. I could do that, but it has to be perfect. So that is what today I'm talking about is being a perfectionist and how being a perfectionist can delay your growth, your and stop you from moving forward. It can delay you from your blessings, blocking your blessings, trying to be perfect. Um, and it's really just another version of procrastination. And what I realize is, even with this exercise, because I have a name for my business. I've had a few names for my business. And one thing, first of all, you can always rebrand. People rebrand all the time. Two, sometimes good enough is good enough. Sometimes, you know, you have to just kind of be okay with what you have. And like I said, you rebrand later, you pivot later, you make the edits later. What's important is that you get it out there. I remember when I was trying to start my YouTube, I was trying to do a and I've been trying to do YouTube for years. Um I remember like the last time I tried to do the YouTube channel thing, even with the 12 months to new me, that didn't pan out well because I wanted everything to be pretty. I wanted everything to be perfect. I wanted to have like this super big production. And it's like, no, actually, you don't need all of that. You really just need a camera and your voice, edit and post on YouTube. Like, I have Canva, I have my phone, I know how to edit videos, I know how to post and write a little bit. Um, but I thought it was really interesting when I talked to my therapist and I was telling her about these are the things that's stopping me from doing these things. And she's like, well, why is that? What if everything wasn't in place? What if there was one or two things or even one thing that was off? Why are you allowing it to stop you from moving forward? Now, some things it's like you do need it to be as close to perfect as possible. We're not talking about those things. We're talking about things that, like, for instance, going back to my YouTube journey. I remember trying to edit things and it took so long for me to edit them because I wanted them to be perfect. And even with this, sometimes like bloopers are funny and it's a great addition to the story because we get to make mistakes in life. We get to show up as fully as we can. And fully in the day may just be 80%, it may be 50%. And so what I learned and what I realized with that is that for me, I think growing up, I just wanted to be perfect because I wanted the validation. And that's where that stems from, is just being like, I have to be the perfect daughter. And I think a lot of people may have sought validation from whoever they were seeking validation from, a parent, a aunt, a cousin, an uncle, someone that they felt they wanted to make proud. And I think that's kind of stuck in me. I'm not going to say I'm a perfectionist. When it comes to creativity and art, I definitely feel like that's something that I'm like, I just, this. And it's really interesting because I recently supported a client. She did, she's actually one of the people that said I was a perfectionist. She did a presentation I didn't design it. She did it. And she actually did a good job of designing it. There was a couple things on the screen that was like, oh my gosh. My mind went to, the line is too high. I see this with my eye. Nobody else cares. They're just there for the information. But as I'm going through the slides, I'm like, oh my gosh, this little, it was like a banner, and the way it was, the alignment of it, the spacing was driving me nuts. And I was like on the inside, like, oh my gosh, this needs to be fixed. And it's really an example of, no, it doesn't. The presentation went well. She got people to ask questions. It was actually a really good, informative presentation. But my mind and my eye was so focused on that I think that my mind and my eye was so focused on that I missed the information. Now I knew what she was talking about and I was reading it, but I kind of got off track because I was doing the slides. I was like, oh wait, I'm missing where she going because I'm looking at this daggone line. And sometimes your perfectionism can distract you. One, it can stop you from moving forward, but it can actually distract you from your whole purpose of even being there to begin with. So there's this phrase that I hear quite often, and I think it's actually a pretty good one, and I try and remind myself of this all the time. Done is better than perfect. Now, we don't want no sloppy stuff. Like, we don't want to just half-aid and just thrown about. If you actually put in the work, you finish something, and you put it out there, and you can always make edits later, but you put it out. You can always update things later, but you put it out. That's why they call drafts. My stuff sits in drafts forever, so I got to get it out of draft. That's why my name is Kyra in Draft, because that's where I stay. And so yeah, that today's lesson is about perfectionism. Everything does not have to be perfect. Perfection is just a form of procrastination. And it's okay to allow yourself to be with the good enough things and allow some things to just be good enough for now. Within reason. I got to say that because some people might take this and run, well, this good enough. No, don't do that. To keep at it, not procrastinate, not wait till things are perfect, not do the analysis paralysis and overanalyze and stuff, because I'm an overthinker too. Overanalyze things, but actually to get the thing done. And if I need to make tweaks, that's fine, but don't hold on to it too long, because the execution is more important, and done is always better than perfect. So that's my video for today. That's my lesson for today. And I will see y'all tomorrow. And if you are a perfectionist, you're an overthinker,